Okay, folks, pay attention closely. This is a brand new video, but I have to lay the groundwork for the new information by showing you some things I've shown in the past. Okay, so make sure you watch this whole video to the end. Anyway, so you know that I've shown that Elvis was the first famous person to take a needle on live television. He took the polio vaccine on October 28th, 1956. It says right there, the king gets vaccinated. And what's important about October 28th? That's the day that Bill Gates was born. Okay, October 28th. He turned 1 year old in 1956 when Elvis took the injection. Okay, and you know Bill Gates, he's born in Seattle. It says it right there, you see? Right there, Seattle, Washington. And why is this important? Because I have two predictions, okay, that on June 11th, there's going to be a spectacular event in Seattle, okay, and somehow Elvis's image or his name or the number of his name becomes attached to this spectacular event on June 11th, which involves the Space Needle in Seattle and all of King County, because Seattle's in King County. Elvis was known as the king. And my other prediction is that Trump, he gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio, because Trump is Elvis's replacement twin, because Elvis's identical twin died at birth. And that's why the Twin Towers had to fall. It's all about Elvis. Everything is connected to Elvis. And also Elvis is connected to the Seattle Space Needle in this way. He was the first famous person to have anything to do with the Seattle Space Needle when he made a movie called It Happened at the World's Fair as soon as this Seattle Space Needle opened back in the early 60s. And notice that Elvis's name is knocking down the Space Needle. And look what it says here, Elvis swinging higher than the Space Needle. You see? And that's why him getting the needle, the polio injection on October 28th, Bill Gates' birthday, his first birthday when he took it, Elvis, and he's born in Seattle, the guy who wants to, you know what, to the whole world, this Bill Gates. He's born in Seattle. And also the guy who invented the polio injection, Jonas Salk, is born on October 28th. And Elvis took the injection on October 28th, 1956. It's exactly 42 years to the day. And why is the 42 important? Because Elvis died at the age of 42. And Washington, where Seattle is the 42nd state, okay? And that's why he took that needle 42 years later, okay? After the polio guy invented it, Jonas Salk. Okay? I told you, all the numbers are matching. Everything matches perfectly. And it's connected to the needle. And remember, Elvis was known as the king, and Seattle is in King County. Okay, here comes the new information. So the Seattle Space Needle opened on April 21st, 1962. And April 21st just happens to be the Queen's birthday. She's born on 4/21, okay? And that's the day the Space Needle opened. And notice that April 21st is the 111th day of the year, and on leap year, it's the 112th day of the year. So if you add those two up, it's 223, and next year is 2023. Do you get it? It's the same numbers, 223. Like I said, all of this information I showed years ago. I'm just going through it before I show you the new information. So April 21st also just happens to be the backwards date of 9/11. Okay? And I told you the next 9/11 is in Seattle on 6/11, which is the upside down 9/11. And 4/21 is the 111th day of the year, which remains 254 days in the year and adds up to 365 because 421, the day the Space Needle opened, is the backwards date of 9/11. And from 9/11 to April 21st is 223 days. You see that? And remember, I showed you how April 21st was connected to the 223 just a little while ago. And also 223 days, this is the percentage of what 223 days equals. Look at that, 61.10%. So that's your 611, because that's the next 9/11 is on 6/11 with a crown. The O is always a crown, so 6/11 with a crown, because that's the day that Seattle gets struck. And look, from April 21st to 9/11 is either 4 months, 21 days or 4 months, 22 days. So the 421 is connected to 9/11 right there. And also on the Gregorian calendar, pay attention, on the Gregorian calendar, because we used to be on the Julian calendar and we're on the Gregorian now, April 21st is actually April 8th on the old Julian calendar. And why is that important is because, it's got the 804 backwards because Trump's going to get his head one on 8/4, right? Like I said, folks, these numbers are like supernatural. Pay attention. Remember, I told you April 21st is the Space Needle opening date and the Queen's birthday. 421 is 4/8 on the old Julian calendar. Like I said, we're on the Gregorian. The old Julian calendar, 421 would be 408. And if you add those two up, it's 829. And on the Gregorian calendar, 9/11 would be 829 on the Julian calendar. You see how it all connects? Because I told you earlier that April 21st is the backwards date of 9/11 in the year. All right, if you were paying attention. And look, on the clock, on a clock, 408 is 1608 military time, and Elvis died on 8/16. And 408, the date, and 421, like I just showed, for the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar connection. If you say the numbers backwards, like they say in the UK, it would look kind of like this, 214804. Trump's head wound is on 8/4, and the 45th day of the year is 2/14. You see how all the numbers just connect? Because, Trump is the 45th president, and Elvis has been dead for 45 years. The information gets better, folks. Pay attention. I'm telling you. I'm just showing you the not so significant stuff yet. So the Queen's birthday is on and the Space Needle opens on 421, right? The opening date and the Queen's birthday, 421. 4 times 21 equals 84. Trump's head wound is on 8/4. Trump's born on 6/14. 6 times 14 is 84. And look at this date. The Seattle Space Needle opening date was 4/21/62. And the Queen is born 4/21/26. Same numbers, but backwards. Okay? Now, look at these numbers and pay attention. Elvis dies at the age of 42. Washington's a 42nd state. Look, 4/2 right there in the first two numbers. 4/2. You have Elvis's age, 42 when he died. Washington, 42, the state. Now look at this, June 11th, the day I'm telling you Seattle, the spectacular event in Seattle happens, is the 162nd day of the year. There's your 162. And the 216th day of the year is August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound, 216. You see what I'm saying? You see these numbers? And like I said, Trump gets his head wound on August 4th, the 216th day of the year. Seattle event, 6/11, 162nd day of the year. The 216, 16 twos. I told you the mind-blowing info is coming after a few more. So Elvis and his identical twins were born on 1/8. So both of them, his identical twin Jesse supposedly died at birth or was sacrificed or he's still alive. Nobody knows. And we'll never know. Anyway, so they were both born on 1/8. 1/8 makes 216. The 216th day of the year is August 4th. If you say the date backwards, like they say in the UK, 8181, it's 16/2. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. Do you understand? This is supernatural, what you're saying. And Elvis and his identical twin, because that's what he had, an identical twin. So identical twins equals 162 forwards, 216 backwards. Do you see that? These are impossible coincidences. Okay? If you put into the gematria calculator, identical twins equals 162 forward, 216 backwards. 162nd day of the year is June 11th. 216th day of the year is August 4th. My two prediction dates. And it just so happens the day that the identical twins were born, January 8th, if you put a crown on January 8th, because that's what the letter O is, it's a crown, okay? You put the letter O on January 8th, you get 162 forwards, 216 backwards. And there's only one other date that does this, and that's April 11th, 4/11. And I've shown why 4/11 is connected to Elvis, but I'm not going to show it here. But so the only, like I said, what is the chance that when you put a crown on January 8th, it does this, the same numbers as what I've been talking to you about? Now pay attention. From George Washington's death date, the day he died, December 14th, 1799, to the day the Space Needle opened, is 162 years, 4 months, 8 days. Do you see what I'm showing you? 8/4 is the day Trump gets his head wound, and the 162nd day of the year is June 11th, the day Seattle gets struck. It's right there in the days again. You see, not to mention what I showed you about April 21st, the Seattle opening date, the needle. Washington was founded, the state of Washington was founded on 11/11, the date, back in 1889. From 11/11, just in the same year, from 11/11 to the April 21st, when the Seattle Space Needle opened, the next time the date comes around, is 162 days. You see that? In between November 11th and 4/21, April 21st. And the 162nd day of the year is June 11th. What is the chances of all these connections? And I told you Elvis has been dead for 45 years and Trump is the 45th president. And he's still going to be dead for 45 years all the way up until August 16th next year, Elvis. And when Elvis turns 88 years old next year, look at this. From January 8th to 4/5, the date, because the 45 we're talking about, right? Because I told you Elvis has been dead for 45 years, Trump 45th president. Elvis turns 88 in January 8th next year, which is coming up very soon. If you go forward, it's 88 days. And from 4/5, which is the 45 number, to the day Washington was founded is 223 days. Look at all the connections I'm showing you. Because next year is 2023 and Elvis turns 88 in 2023. And you know what else is important about April 21st? It's the day that singer, that singer Prince, he died on April 21st, 2016. And 2016 is when Trump was elected president, okay? And Prince had a song. He had a song called I Would Die For You. You see that? U is the 21st letter of the alphabet. 421. I would die 421. That's what he's saying. And the Queen's born on 421. The Space Needle opened 421. And he died on 421. And he said he's going to die. Look at that. I would die for you. U is the 21st letter. And 4 times 21 equals 84. 84 is the 216th day of the year, which just so happens to be Obama's birthday. And Obama was president still in 2016. It's the 216. Obama's born on the 216th day of the year, August 4th. But it's Trump who gets the head wound on August 4th. 4 times 21 equals 84, which is the Queen's birthday, which is the day Prince died, which is the Space Needle opening date. And I told you Trump's birthday is 6/14. 6 times 14 equals 84. It's all connected. And interestingly enough, when he wrote that song, I Would Die For You, the 421, he's going to die, he said, it was released in 1984, the album. 84, the 84 again. But the song was recorded in 83. Look at that, 83, 83. It was almost 84. Look at that. And by the way, 1983 is the only number in gematria. If you put into the gematria calculator, that equals 216. Again, connected to the 216, which is the August 4th date. And it's the only one in the 1900s that equals 216. And again, it's the same connections I talked about already. Like I said, the good info's at the very end, so you better pay attention. And Prince was born on 6/7 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay? The area code is 612. And what is the 612? That's the backwards of 216. You understand? It's got the same numbers as June 11th, 162, and August 216. It's exactly the backwards number of August 4th, the 216. And George Floyd died there also. And George connects to Washington. Do you get it? Okay? And Elvis, if you put into the gematria calculator, equals 67, and Jesse equals 67. It's spelled like this, like it is on his gravestone, this identical twin. And remember, Prince was born on 6/7. 6 times 7 equals 42. Elvis's death age, 42. Washington's the 42nd state, where Seattle is. And here's the interesting little tidbit. Washington's death date is 12/14, right? If you kind of separate the 6/7 numbers, 6/7, 6/7, you can make 12/14 out of it. You see that? Washington death date, 12/14. And Elvis equals 67, Jesse equals 67, Prince was born on 6/7. The 67th prime number is 331. And if you do it again, because there's Jesse and Elvis, the 67th is 331. That's the Tupelo. That's where Elvis and his identical twin were born, Tupelo, the 662 area code. You see that? And I was just showing you that the 67th prime number is 331. Trump's birthday is the 614th day of the... Trump's birthday is June 14th. 614 is the 165th day of the year. On leap year, it's the 166th day of the year. If you add that up, it's 331. You see? And I told you Trump is the replacement twin. Jesse equals 67. Elvis equals 67. The 67 prime number is 331. It's right there in the year, the day he's born. Trump. And also, Prince died at his home in a elevator, which goes either up or down, okay? It's free will, folks. Make up your mind. Do you want to go to hell or you want to go to heaven? Anyway, he died at the age of 57. Next year's Super Bowl is the 57th Super Bowl. His home was called Paisley Park. Sounds like Presley. And you know Prince, I'm pretty sure he loved the PP. PP. Paisley Park, P equals 16, the letter. P equals 16, 1616. From Elvis's birthday forward, 1616 days, lands on June 11th. Do you see how everything is connected? And let me just rehash this again. So remember, Elvis was born in January, which is the first month. Trump is born in the 6th month. January is named after Janus, the two-faced god. Trump is born in the Gemini, which is the twin sign, 1/6. Which just happens to be Armenian Christmas, and I'm Armenian. The insurrection happened on 1/6. Insurrection means resurrection. I told you, equals the same in gematria. Elvis died on the 16th day of August. Elvis died in the 16th state, Tennessee. Abe Lincoln, first president assassinated, was the 16th president. And I just got finished showing you the identical twins were born on 1818, which is 2 16s. 8181, 16, 2. Which connects to August 4th, 216th day of the year, and June 11th, 162nd day of the year. Now, let's just real quick, Prince William, he's born on 6/21/1982, okay? And the reason I'm showing him is because he's connected to the Queen, right? So he's born on 6/21/1982, and 1982 is the same numbers, 8219, as the word Seattle. Seattle in gematria equals 8219, okay? And from Prince William's birthday, first let me tell you that Prince William, he was baptized on 8/4, okay? And from 6/21 to 8/4 is 45 days. And I told you Trump is going to get his head wound on August 4th, and Trump is the 45th president. So from 621 to 84, 216. And you know, in the UK, 621 backwards would be written 21-6. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how they say the date in the UK, 216, 21-6. We say it's 621, June 21st. And that's why this is so important. So that means basically it's the 216, the 621, 216 backwards. 84 is the 216th day of the year. From 621, the 216, get it? And from that day, the day he's born, Prince William, to August 4th, the day he's baptized. 84 is Trump's head wound. Okay, it's 45 days in between. 45th president is Trump, and 45 years Elvis has been dead. It's Seattle right here, 8219. Can you see it? And from Elvis's birthday to the day Prince William was born, 1/8 to 621, you see that? 621 is when he was born, the date. It's 165 days. Trump's born on 6/14, the 165th day of the year. Do you see it? And even Prince William's initials, PW. You remember, like I talked about it, like Paul Walker. Remember Paul Walker? He died, and you know what? He was born in Glendale, and that's where I'm from. I mean, not from. That's where I am now. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, but I live in Glendale, California. Anyway, Paul Walker, who died. You remember that actor, Paul Walker? PW. P is the 16th letter, W is the 23rd letter. From the 1st of the month to 6/11 is 1,623 days, and June 11th is the 162nd day of the year or the 163rd day. So it's basically in the numbers right there. 1623 for PW, Prince William. 1623, okay? 162nd, 163rd for June 11th. And interestingly enough, Prince William actually got a head wound once. He got hit by a golf club or something. And this is the date, 6/3/1991. From Trump's birthday, 6/14/1946, to the day that Prince William got his head wound, it was, the percentage is what's important. You know, the 44 is important too, because 44 equals the word kill. It also equals the word anti. But and he's, you know, Trump is the 44th person to become president, but he's actually the 45th president. So he's a 44, 45 right here. See this percentage? It's exactly 4,500% to that day. And it happened on 6/3, which is the 154th day of the year. The Antichrist equals 154. And from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is 154 days or 155 days. Okay, listen, folks, I can't, you know, I'm just shooting through all this stuff, you know. I got to do it fast. And even the year has some kind of connection. Remember, I told you this is Trump's birth year, and this was the day that Prince William got his head wound. The year even has a connection. The 1946 to 46 and the 91, the year that Prince William got the head wound. The word Phoenix equals 9146. And the 33rd prime number is 137. You know, listen, I know I'm exaggerating, like, you know, showing too much, but it's okay. And look at this. From Prince William to Prince Harry. Look at that. Remember I told you that PW was the 1623 that connected to June 11th dates, the 162, 163rd day of the year. Prince Harry. The P is the 16th letter. H is the 8th letter. Elvis died on 8/16, 16/8. You see? Anyway, so from Prince William, the day he's born, to the exact day that Prince Harry was born, it's 818 days. 818. Elvis and his twin. You understand? 1818, they were born. Now I'm going to get back to the April 21st connection to the Space Needle, okay? Why it's so important, April 21st. So, but first let me show you this. Elvis did more than 600 concerts in Las Vegas alone. Okay, he was like the biggest act in Vegas ever. You know, I'm talking about at the time. Las Vegas is in Nevada. Nevada is the 36th state. Okay, and why am I showing you that? You'll see why in a moment. Okay, folks, here comes the incredible information. Get ready. So I'm going to shoot through it quick. So remember, I created this month chart. So, you know, January is the first month, right? And if you go across, December would be the 12th month. But instead of starting back to 1, I go to 13 because that would be the next number after 12, right? and December is the 12th month. So instead of going back to 1 in January, you start at 13. So if you go down the rows, okay, this is what would happen. So now pay attention. So remember, January was the first month and December was the 12th month. And I told you, so the number 2 right here would have been 13 and so on. 3 would have been 25, 4 would have been 37 and so on. So the first number was 1, and if you go all the way to the 36th number, it lands on 421. The 36th number, 421. Pay attention because it's going to get good. The 36th number down in January, because Elvis was born in January, is 421. And remember, the reason I was showing you the 421 was because that's when the Seattle Space Needle opened and the Queen's birthday, right? And remember, I showed you from 1 through 30. I mean, the month chart was 1 through 36 was 421, right? Which is what I just showed you. But now, all you would have to do is add all the numbers between 1 and through 36, like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way to 36. It equals 666. So the 36 up to 36 is 666. So that's why when you see my month chart, the fact that the 36th number down, it means 1 through 36. So there's your 666. And then the number was 421, which is April 21st, the day that the Space Needle opened and the Queen's birthday. The 36th number down is 421. Adding numbers 1 through 36 is 666. And you know, Las Vegas is called Sin City, and Elvis was, like I said, the number 1 person there at the time. Nevada's the 36th state. When they abbreviate Nevada, NV. N is the 14th letter, V is the 22nd letter, equals 36. Again, the 666 number. And earlier I was telling you how important 1 through 16 is. Remember the 16, how important the 16 number is. So if you go 1 through 16, which just happens to be the 611 backwards, 11/6, if you say the date 11/6 in the UK would be 611 here. 1 through 16, because I told you how important the 16 was to Elvis, it equals 136. You get it? Because a minute ago I was showing you how 1 through 36 is 666. All right. And by the way, the 6th prime number is 13. It's the same numbers again. 136, 136. And you remember the month chart from 1 through 36 was 421 for the month of January when Elvis was born. So 421, if you add the 36, because the 36 number was 421, 421 plus 36 equaled 457. And I told you in 2023, which has been a few weeks, on January 8th, Elvis turns 88 years old. The 88th prime number is 457. You see that? And the 611th prime number is 4507. It's the same numbers, but with a crown. 611, 4507, 88 is 457. And that's why this chart that I created is so important, because the 36 number down is 421, 421 plus the 36. Basically, it's telling you right there, Elvis died at the age of 42, then the 1 through 36, 666. Remember, 1 through 36 is 666. Elvis died at the age of 42, Washington's 42nd state, adds up to 457. 88th prime number is 457. Elvis turns 88 next year. And if you think these are coincidences, pay attention. Elvis died on August 16th. August 16th is the 228th day of the year. On leap year, it's the 229th day of the year. Add those two together, you get 457. 88th prime is 457. The 611th prime is 4507. It's the same numbers, but with a crown. August 16th equaled 457 when you add up the days. And look, he died on August 16th, 1977. 1977. The 45th prime number is 197. and then you put the 7 down. So it's 45, 0, 7, 70, 1970. 45th is 197. The 45th prime is 197. You get it? The 611th prime is 4507. 4507. Do you get it? These are impossible coincidences, what I'm showing you. Because Elvis has been dead for 45 years, and he's still going to be dead for 45 years during my predictions for next year, and Trump is the 45th president. And here's the last piece of the puzzle, which is not even necessary, but I'm going to throw it in. The word Seattle in gematria, I told you, equals 82, okay? And the 82nd prime number, equals 421. Again, connecting to Seattle, because the Space Needle opened up 421. And if you put a crown on Elvis, because Elvis equals 67, if you put a crown, which is the letter O, which is the 15th letter of the alphabet, if you add 67, 15, you get 82. Okay? And I told you there was 2 of them born on the 8th day. Elvis had an identical twin, 8-2. Get it? Because he was born on 1-8, but there was 2 of them. Anyway, folks, I hope you saw how important this information is, what I just showed you. Anyway, folks, this is my 2 predictions. Don't get them mixed up, okay? June 11th, spectacular event in Seattle. August 4th, Trump gets his head wound in Ohio, okay? And he survives the head wound. End of video. Oh, and make sure you watch the whole video. If you didn't understand it, go back and watch the whole video again. End of video.